Right guys, this is something I got from my outside free shop when they were doing my roof. This one, that's not my roof, that's my outside, that was my outside shop. Anyway, what I've done is it's just 4 pieces of wood nailed together basically. What I've done is I've drawn a line corner to corner to find the centre, and I've drilled, or started to drill, a pilot hole which will then be opened up with a 19mm wood blade, wood flat blade, so should I say. I don't know the proper name for these, but oh well, never mind. And then once I've drilled that, then I will be able to fit that in, fit the turbine in like that. Alright, and yes, there is enough clearance on the vein for the vanes to go, but to be on the safe side, because I don't know what would happen at high speed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these brackets out and mount them, sorry, all I got to do is pull these brackets out so that I'm just mounting them on the end with the 2 screws, and that one will then be redundant. I don't know exactly what forces would be on these, so I don't want them too near the corners as it's going round. I suppose I could, hang on, put this down. I suppose I could do it that way, but then it might be too tall, and you know, I don't know, I'll have to have a think about that. But I think I'll go the other way. Okay peeps, there she is mounted. It's nice and solid, ain't going nowhere. Excuse me. I've used the bracket that, the ceiling bracket that came with the turbine. There are only 2 are being used, and what they're for is to make the ceiling fan level. It was tipping down, so I put one, so there's a wood screw pushing the shaft towards me at the bottom, and then the top one is just sliding past the shaft on your left and pushing it over this way. So it's in there nice and solid, and she's free to turn. This is as far as I've got with the first vane. I just built it up to this point so I could show you its construction. And what it is a Poundland cutting board, plastic. That's why I like it. Only cost me £1. Came from Poundland, right? Yeah, alright. Shut up, Raymond. Now the handle, I cut up another one and glued it over, and I glued it on the inside and the outside. Well, sorry, the inside and the outside. I got it right that time. Anyway, this is nothing more than a piece of guttering. Value, to me, 0. Well, value to me is priceless, but it was being thrown out by the guys who did my roof. The nuts and bolts are from the original ceiling fan kit, and I got enough to do all 4 vanes. So that's it so far. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut plywood cheeks, again plywood that was in the skip, top and bottom, and they will be glued and screwed to give strength. Now a lot of you are thinking, they're not very big. True, but my last VAWT, they were only about an inch or so bigger. In the case of my poor ceiling fan turbine, definitely windy. But it's been pumping 15 volts, and why I should be shortening the pole. Hope you have a good laugh at that. Anyway, so that's the next step, putting the cheeks on. Again, all this edge is glued so that when the wind hits it there's no escape for it, and that's why the cheeks will be glued as well, because when the wind hits it, I want all the wind to stay in there as it pushes it round. I don't want it coming out through gaps and so on and so forth. And it's going to go like a rocket. This is the old die-cast junction box off the pole, and what I'm going to be doing is, move this out of the way, mounting it down, right, and then the cable will come through the other way and up inside, and the vane, if I put it in the middle, won't hit it. Yes, alright Raymond. What I'm going to do, because this is going on top of the lab, it's going to have two bridge rectifiers in, and that will take the AC from the generator over a short distance into rectification, and then a short distance down into the lab where the Tesla Powerwall is going to be based. So recycle, reuse, eh? The rectifiers that bridge rectifiers that I'm using on the wind turbine are these, and they have no markings. So how do you tell which pin is which? Well, it's very simple. The pin next to the corner that's been cut off is positive, which makes the one opposite it, diagonally opposite that is, negative, and then the other two are obviously the AC inputs, and they don't matter which way around they go. Okay? Oh, by the way, I got 50 of these for £12. Not bad, eh? Right, now I've already wired in the rectifiers. Go back out a little bit. That's it. And I bolted them onto the side of the aluminium by taking out these two of these type of plugs that was on there. Now these plugs do nothing. They are just there. But what I might do with these two this time is I might feed them into the plus and minus, into the plus and minus, so that when I'm on top of the lab roof and I want to check the voltage coming out, I can just plug in the meter there without having to go down into the lab. Okay, now the positives and negatives are 20 gauge wire, and I doubled it up, so it's probably about 16 gauge, something like that. I'm not expecting great amps out of this. I did that just to make it freer for the current to flow, if you like. So I've got the negative, positive, and the AC inputs from the ceiling fan will be coming in. The blue will obviously be connected to the blue, and the brown obviously connected to the brown. And then, excuse me, once I've got it in place and I've shortened the pole arrangement, then I'll mount this and then run the cable down into the lab from the positive neg, hook up the turbine and see what voltage I get out. It's not going on the lab immediately, it's going on the garden table where you've seen me work before. I'm just going to clamp it down for now, and I'll run some cable from these two sockets so that I can monitor what's coming out. Okay guys, well there she is, ready to be screwed to the ceiling fan turbine. Wired up the brown pair of wind turbine, and the other pair are still disconnected. What I now have is the meter plugged in to the positive neg coming out of the bridge rectifiers, and as you can see it's producing very nicely. So that coil's fine. And what I'm going to do now is just disconnect one leg, connect in the blue, and then we'll check again. Because it's no good connecting both coils and the whole system is being dragged down by a shorted coil or something. So just be patient and do one at a time. So we'll take out wire from the brown coil and we'll connect the blue one in, and then we'll come back and show you the results of that. Okay, now I've wired up the blue coil, and there's the brown coil disconnected, and as you can see, generating quite nicely. For those of you who said, well, what about the current? You know, it's just 100 plus milliamps, and whoops daisy, right, you go up there. Oh, you stay there. Almost 200, but that's going at my shoulder speed. So there we are, almost ready to put up. What I've also done is I've just coiled the wires around before connecting them into the connector. The reason being, if I wanted to change the setup, I don't have to add wires on if they're not long enough or anything like that. These are uncoiled, they'll reach up here, so they're fine. And that's the reason why I've done it.